Food allergens are a group of foods that can cause severe or life-threatening reactions to people who are affected by them. The definition of a food allergy can be described as an unpleasant or dangerous immune system reaction after a certain food is eaten. The cause of food allergies is unknown. In some cases, allergies experienced during childhood may resolve in adulthood. Symptoms of a reaction can include digestive problems, hives, or swollen airways. Severe reactions can be thought life-threatening. Antihistamine drugs treat mild reactions. A severe reaction needs an injection of the drug epinephrine and emergency room care. It is extremely important that we practice careful handling and packing of all allergens so we don't cross-contaminate and accidentally make someone ill. Allergens that we have in our warehouse include tree nuts, wheat, shellfish, milk and other dairy products, soy, finfish, peanuts, and eggs. These 8 allergens make up the Big 8. Beginning in January 2023, sesame seeds will become the 9th recognized allergen in the United States. When we receive products from our vendors or we're building orders for our customers, we need to ensure that allergens and non-allergens are segregated. Let's think about 2 scenarios, receiving and shipping. When we are checking pallets of mixed products from our vendors, we need to make certain that cross-contamination has not occurred. If milk is found damaged and leaking onto other products, for example lemons, we should refuse the milk, lemons, and any other product that was contaminated and return it to the vendor, making certain that we receive credit for the returned items. We should never accept contaminated product into our warehouse. At the packing and shipping stage, we need to make sure we don't accidentally cross-contaminate an allergen with a non-allergenic food. As an example, let's build an imaginary palette. If we start our picking path in the tomato banana room, we select some of those pretty heirloom tomatoes. They're the ones in the case with flaps on top so you can see the tomatoes inside. Then as we move through the picking path, we pick up more items before finally getting to the freezer. We select a bag of the local flour and place it on the corner of the pallet, being careful not to stack it on top of other products. But maybe we didn't notice that a little bit of flour dust escaped from the bag and settled on the tomatoes. If that is true and we send those tomatoes on to the customer, something bad could happen. Once it's in the customer's hands, it's out of our hands. But let's think through this scenario anyway. Maybe the customer does not wash the tomatoes before using them. Why would they? They don't look dirty, and they're not expecting flour dust to be on them. The tomatoes are going on a salad that a lady in the dining room ordered. She ordered the salad specifically because she has a gluten allergy and cannot eat a sandwich. One bite of her salad, and she's having an anaphylactic reaction. So you can see why we need to take special care when handling allergens. What should we do if we notice cross-contamination? If the tomato and flour example, we should remove the tomatoes to the holds area, label them as contaminated, and have a trained manager decide their disposition. We should not sell the tomatoes because they are considered adulterated or changed from their original form. Before loading the delivery vehicle, allergen checks are performed on the finished repack boxes and pallets. This check is recorded on the route sheet and maintained as part of our food safety records. It is important for the loader to answer these questions on every load that they do. Allergens are stored in designated and dedicated areas of the warehouse. The entire dairy room is a designated allergen area for cheese, milk and other dairy, local eggs, duck eggs, and quail eggs. Specialty room for things like nuts, peanut butter, pasta, and organic milk. The freezer holds allergen products like baking mixes, which contain flour, flour tortillas, and edamame, a frozen soybean, and Zone 5, which holds cross-docked seafood, raw shell eggs, liquid eggs, hard-boiled eggs, and tofu. Care is taken so that allergens of the same kind are stored together and avoid commingling of differing allergen types. Care is also taken in storing allergens in high-level racking, where products stored underneath could become contaminated. Don't cross allergens and non-allergens. Discard anything that does. It's better to be safe than risk somebody's health. Employees are trained on proper handling. Wear disposable, non-latex gloves when handling allergens. Wash hands after handling allergens and before putting on clean gloves. Immediately clean and sanitize scales and surrounding surfaces after handling and weighing an allergen product. Only use non-latex rubber bands to secure clamshells in the repack area. Employees are trained on the cleaning procedures if an allergen is spilled. An allergen-only broom and dustpan are identified with bright pink tape and stored in the dairy room. These pieces of cleaning equipment are only to be used when and if allergens are spilled and require cleanup. Let's have a look at the procedure and the log. You will find copies of the allergen spill procedure and the log in the front of the daily ops binder in the dock office. Ask your supervisor if you aren't sure. If an allergen is spilled in the building, follow these steps. Use protective gloves. Sweep up and collect all spilled allergen. After sweeping, use a vacuum to remove any allergen that still might be present. If the spill occurs in an area where other product for resale could be contaminated, please report the possible contamination to your supervisor and have the product removed and discarded. This product needs to be removed from the inventory immediately. The incident must be recorded in the log and submitted to the food safety manager for retention. The log should be filled in completely with the date and time of the spill. The description should tell the name of the product that was spilled, how much of the product was affected, and if other products were affected and how the spill occurred. The corrective actions should describe how the spill was cleaned up, how the product was discarded, that the product was taken out of inventory, and what actions will be taken to prevent the spill from happening again. Include your name and your supervisor's signature. Make certain the food safety manager receives the log. It must be kept on file for at least 2 years. In your food safety orientation packet, you should have a copy of the allergen management policy. Please take the time to read it in its entirety. It details all the information in this training module. If you have any questions, please see the food safety manager for clarification.